Here's the ultimate head-scratcher and pathetic fail from President Trump. Trump sells Qatar $12 billion of U.S. weapons days after accusing it of funding terrorism. Wow. So listen to this. While President Trump berates Qatar for sponsoring terrorism at the highest levels, he is simultaneously authorizing the country to purchase over 21 billion. Jesus Christ. Is it 12 or 21? There seems to be a little bit of an inconsistency here. 21 billion of U.S. weapons. One portion of that deal, 12 billion, okay, there we go, for 36 F-15 QA fighter jets was inked on Wednesday in Washington, D.C., when Qatar's defense minister met with U.S. Defense Secretary James Mattis. Quote, "We are pleased to announce today the signing of the letter of offer and acceptance for the purchase of the F-15 QA fighter jets with an initial cost of $12 billion. Read the Qatari defense minister's statement on Wednesday afternoon. "We believe that this agreement will propel Qatar's ability to provide for its own security while also reducing the burden placed on the United States military in conducting operation against violent extremism." The Qatari ambassador to the U.S. tweeted a photo of the signing. Okay. I'm at a loss for words. So, Qatar was accused by Saudi Arabia of funding jihadists. That is adorable, because Saudi Arabia does it all the time. All the time. But in reality, what they were mad about is that it appears that Qatar gave money. It appears like they're switching sides in the Syrian civil war because they don't think the rebels can win. So they're actually getting in bed to an extent with Hezbollah, and they're getting in bed with Shias. Well, Saudi Arabia is a more ideologically driven regime, and they're Salafists. They have the same ideology as ISIS and Al-Qaeda, and they view this as, oh my God, no, you're switching sides and you're going to be alongside the Shias. So they accuse them of, you're funding Al-Qaeda. No, that's what you're doing, bitch. But they accuse them of that, even though that's what they're doing, because they know that that'll make the West go, oh, how dare you? And, but in reality, even though Trump sided with Saudi Arabia in his rhetoric, like, oh yeah, Saudi's right. I can't believe they're arming Al-Qaeda. Terrible, sad. Right, they're still sending weapons and money to Qatar. Why? Because nothing stops business as usual. Nothing stops the status quo. Nothing stops the military-industrial complex. If it's profitable to give the weapons to them, to sell the weapons to them, they're going to do it. We have jobs tied to the military-industrial complex in every state, literally. So that keeps our economy turning, baby. Got to do those wars. Got to arm these horrific regimes. Got to do it. So there's the inconsistency there of Trump saying, oh, Saudi's right, Qatar, sad. And then the next fucking day, he's selling billions of dollars worth of weapons to Qatar. Because the way it really works is the so-called defense contractors have their lobbyists give money to politicians, and then politicians do favors for the defense contractors. And that's how the military-industrial complex keeps churning. So we're always selling weapons to some authoritarian regime in one place or another. And we're the largest exporter of death. And we arm terrorists all over the world. Sorry, but it's the truth. So there's the inconsistency. But Trump is still such an idiot. Like, you didn't know, like, you were unaware, hey, maybe I should shut the fuck up with the, oh, Qatar, bad. Because the next day you're giving them weapons. Or at least if, like, you're talking about it and then you hear about it, go, no, I must block this sale. No, he's an idiot. He's a fucking idiot. And he, by the way, in his administration, he outsources every duty. So when it comes to foreign policy, he's like, Mattis, I don't know, you make the decisions. When it comes to the economy, I don't know, Steve Mnuchin, Gary Cohn, Goldman Sachs, you make all the decisions. Because he's a fucking moron and he doesn't know what's going on. And what's crazy is there's been so many contradictions between what his administration says and what he says on so many issues. Like, his administration all gets on the same page and pushes one argument, and then he'll come out there and contradict it like that. And then later on, they all got to say, no, there was no contradiction, even though there was obviously a contradiction. How do you not, like, this is so clearly a contradiction. He's just such an idiot. But yeah, we should stop selling weapons to Qatar. We should stop selling weapons to Saudi Arabia. We should stop selling weapons to all these brutal regimes. But yeah, Saudi needs to shut the fuck up, because as they're funding extremists, they're like, Qatar's funding extremists. They're just so slimy, the Saudi regime. But so are we, and so is our dipshit president, who contradicts himself every 8 seconds.